What's happening, guys, and welcome back to the channel. And against Malmo on Tuesday night, Chelsea made it 7 wins in a row in all competitions for the first time since 2016, when a certain Antonio Conte was in charge. I wonder what he's doing now. We head back to Premier League action at Stamford Bridge, where we entertain Sean Dyche's Burnley, who picked up their first win of the season last time out against Brentford. Really important before we head into the international break, George, that we win this game and maintain a minimum 3-point gap at the top of the table, isn't it?
Yeah, we both said, didn't we, particularly with the stretch of games coming after the international break, I think it's really important that Chelsea ends again strongly. There's nothing worse than going into that international break dwelling on a defeat or a bad performance, because then you've got to wait a fortnight to put it right. And you never know the circumstances coming back from an international break with the injuries and everything else. So yeah, it's a nice one. Obviously, we would have liked to have played them on the back of probably another defeat. So them winning their last Premier League game will give them some sort of a boost. But in general, I think, again, this should be a formality for Chelsea. Bear in mind that I think, we've got the best defensive record. We're scoring actually over 2 goals in a game on average. And I can't see anything but 3 points for Chelsea. But I have been wrong on the weekend predictions for quite a few weeks now. So don't take my word for it.
I mean, yeah, we fully expect to win, and it would round off this run of fixtures very nicely. In essence, winning every single one of a more favourable run before, as you said, after the international break, we head into a much tougher run of fixtures. In terms of the lineup, George, obviously still without Kovacic, Timo Werner, and Romelu Lukaku. Obviously, it's great to see that Christian Pulisic got some minutes in the week in the Champions League, so he's back in contention for a place in the lineup. And Mason Mount and N'Golo Kante should both be available for selection as well. Obviously, we haven't heard from Thomas Tuchel yet at the time of this recording whether they will be playing, but I would presume they should feature somewhat. Are you expecting many changes from the Malmo lineup in the week? I mean, obviously, definitely the 2 wing backs will be reverted to Chilwell and Reece James. But are you expecting any changes anywhere else?
Don't know. I don't know if he's going to use. I mean, I'd expect Thiago Silva to play, but he has tinkered around a little bit with it, depending on the opposition.
Do you think Thiago Silva at 37 can play 3 games in a week, having played Newcastle, Malmo? Is he going to play again before he goes off with Brazil?
I guess only Thomas Tuchel and Thiago Silva can answer that question, because I'm sure if Thiago Silva came to the manager and said, "Look, I'm fit, I'll play," then I think it's a no-brainer because of his experience and his ability on the ball. But with the fixtures, I think because we've got an international break, I think we can take the gamble and go for it. We can try and play him, because with all due respect to Brazil, he's not our responsibility after that game. So if we end up tiring him out or whatever, that's not really our responsibility. Don't really care. So I don't know. So that's an interesting one. It's the same with Loftus-Cheek, isn't it? That would be an interesting one to see if he gives him the nod on the back of another good performance, or whether he risks bringing Kante back, who's been out of action for a while, as Mason Mount. Because there's no doubt Mason Mount and Kante are our first team shoe-in players, fully fit, but they have been out for a while now. So do you risk it? I don't know. It is a tough one to call, but we'll see.
I mean, one that's not so tough to call, I'd imagine that Christian Pulisic will be on the bench again, and he should get a few more minutes, maybe something closer to 20 minutes, half an hour this time out. And how important is it that we manage his minutes, given how injury prone he's been, and not just to throw him back in from the start? I'm not suggesting that Thomas Tuchel would do that. I think his man management skills are a second to none, but it is crucial that we manage Pulisic's minutes so that we don't get him injured again.
Yeah, we've got to understand the trend that's happened so far, where he's maybe come onto the scene too soon, or trying to bring him back too soon. I wouldn't be opposed to him again, even not having a major part of the game. It all depends, I suppose, on how the game pans out. And I think I'm right in thinking that when we played his last performance against a Burnley side, he actually managed to get a hat-trick away from home, I want to say.
Yeah, it was away from home, under Lampard,
so,
I think.
And I do like the stats and the ideas, and they tend to happen where certain players play well against certain teams and tend to pop up with goals. So wouldn't be surprised if Pulisic has an impact in this game if he does play. But you're right, mate. I think particularly with him and him being such a huge part of, I think he's the captain for the USA. So for him, he'll play a big part if they do have any international football. And therefore, again, we need to be careful with that one.
Yeah, I mean, that's the worry. The national team at the States, if Pulisic is playing minutes for Chelsea, they'll just chuck him straight in. They won't care. And that's the slight worry that he gets injured on international duty, because that's exactly what happened last time. So, yeah, great to see him back on the pitch, and he can definitely add something to this game if and when he's required. But I mean, we presume that the front three is going to remain the same as it has done for the last few games. Mason Mount possibly to come back in. I would bring him back in, but I mean, Hakim Ziyech, Havertz, and Callum Hudson-Odoi haven't done too badly. I mean, we've spoken a lot about Hudson-Odoi and Ziyech in previous videos, etc. I mean, Tuchel said after the Malmo game that he's pleased with how Kai Havertz is performing. George, how vital is it that Havertz gets on the score sheet against Burnley this weekend? Because apart from a goal against Malmo at Stamford Bridge, this run of games, he's not contributed an awful lot. And he does need to step up and do more.
He does, but I have looked into this a lot. And actually, I think, again, we're having a similar sort of season where goals are coming from everywhere. We've actually got a lot of high-scoring defenders, particularly the fullbacks. You know, Alonso's chipped in, Chilwell, Reece James getting a couple. We're getting a few from midfield as well. So I don't know if it is as imperative as people say that Havertz needs to get on the score sheet from what we said in our last video when we were assessing the Malmo game. I guess he's pleased with the performance, but that's a backhanded compliment because maybe he's saying it on the back of you're replacing Lukaku being injured. So in that sense, he is doing a good job because we're still winning games without our recognised number 9 and he's playing there. But I think, like we said before, we both agree that yes, he needs to be more clinical. And, you know, he does play in a similar position for Germany. So really, there shouldn't be too many excuses why he isn't performing in these sorts of games. And again, we do need to score goals to win games. And without Lukaku and Werner, it is the pressure is on him, but not necessarily. I think that's what we need to think about, that we have got plenty of goals in other areas.
Yeah, I think that's been a massive plus with our two of our main attacking options missing, is that players from other positions have stepped up and chipped in with a few goals, which has helped us out massively. I mean, I think it's another big opportunity for Callum Hudson-Odoi to showcase that he deserves to stay in the lineup after the international break when everyone is kind of going to be back fit. So it's another big opportunity for him. And yeah, Ruben Loftus-Cheek for me deserves another chance. I think every time he's played this season, he's been fantastic, and I think he deserves to start again. But George, in terms of Burnley, very briefly, you know, in the past they have got results at Stamford Bridge. I can remember like opening day of the season, I think they might have beaten us 2-1 a few years back when Courtois was in goal. And they're a very physical team. You know, a lot of height. There'll be a lot of balls into the box. They'll try and rough us up. Anything that we need to be sort of wary of at all, do you feel?
Well, they're well organised. They tend to play in a low block away from home. So it'll be quite similar to Malmo in that respect. I don't want to tarnish them with the same brush as Malmo because they're a lot better side than Malmo are going forward, and they need to be respected. And you're right, they have caused some upsets in the past. I don't know. Set pieces is always one for me when you come up against Sean Dyche team, well organised at both ends of the pitch, but set plays, that's where they'll get most of their chances. So crosses from wide areas we need to be wary of. Corners, free kicks the same. But I think in terms of we're not expecting anything special from Burnley or anything out of the ordinary. So I think as long as we keep possession, majority of the ball, which we will do, and we move it around quickly, I think that's the key. I think if we play slow ball, and the transitional play is poor, then it suits Burnley to the ground. And like you said, sometimes an early goal will just open things up. So let's hope for that.
Yeah, I think that's crucial when playing against a low block. Burnley are going to come and sit back and defend. I mean, not as much as Malmo perhaps, but they will come and sit and defend. It's going to be up to us to break them down. I always think, as you said, to try and break a side down, you've got to move the ball quickly. try different things. And an early goal would literally ruin that whole game plan completely and open the game up nicely. So, if we can get an early goal, then I think that completely alters the game. But I mean, yeah, it should be a very straightforward win for Chelsea, and we should be heading into the international break with at least that 3-point lead intact. And funnily enough, George, this fixture last season was Thomas Tuchel's first ever victory as Chelsea manager. And I mean, what a journey it's been since then. But just to wrap up, mate, a score prediction from yourself?
I'm going to go 2-0 to Chelsea, I think. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I think we'll keep another clean sheet. I know we can't keep clean sheets in every game, but I don't see Burnley causing us too many issues from an attacking perspective. I'm going to go with a 3-0 win. And we're going to head into the international break top of the table, and then prepare ourselves for a much tougher run of fixtures afterwards. But yeah, that's just myself and George's thoughts on the Burnley game. Make sure you smash a like on the video, hit that subscribe button if you haven't already, and we'll catch you in the next one.